Hello, this is Too Stubborn to Quit, a podcast made for women who aren't slowing down, staying quiet, or fading into the background. We're here for the bold, the curious, and the women who know that their best chapters are still ahead of them. So get your coffee or your car keys, because we're getting ready to hit the road and you get to come along for the ride. Let's go! Hi everyone, Linda. Hi, how are you?
I'm good.
Hey, Pam.
Hi,
I'm
JT.
good, dear. How are you?
I'm spectacular, and we have a wonderful guest today, JT Pogreba. No, Pogreba.
JT Pogreba.
There
She's
you
not
go.
from Minnesota.
Pogreba.
It's Pogreba.
It was the Minnesota thing that I was pronouncing. Pogreba. You see, it stuck.
Yeah.
So we are going to talk to JT today about all kinds of things, but mostly how, in the face of adversity, she has chosen to keep moving forward. So, JT,
Yes.
let's start back at the beginning. A couple years ago, you were in a pretty big fire out in California. Tell us about that.
Yes. It was called the Dixie Fire. And I believe at the time it was the largest fire in California history. I don't know the acreage, but I'm sure it was over 1 million acres. And
Wow.
it was in a little town in the Sierra Nevada mountains, about halfway between Sacramento in California and Reno in Nevada.
Mm.
Just kind of almost smack in the middle.
Mm.
And a few years prior, there had been a fire down the mountain in Paradise that was devastating, where many people were killed. This particular fire started from a tree on a power line, and the power company PG&E wasn't maintaining the line very well because they're not supposed to have trees down on it. But it was in a canyon, and by the time they reported it, at that time of the year, the winds picked up, and there were 60-mile-an-hour winds, and it went from a little fire in a canyon to out of control in probably less than 24 hours.
Oh my.
Yeah. So
your house was in the middle of that inferno.
Yes, I was in a little town called Greenville, about 1,500 people. Luckily, no one was killed. They evacuated the town very quickly and there were a lot of elderly people in the town. They evacuated, and I went to my niece's ranch down the mountain a little ways. But they gave a all clear sign 2 weeks later to go back, and I went back. And unfortunately, the wind shifted, and I only had time to grab my 2 cats. My dogs were in the truck, and I was wearing flip-flops and a bathing suit, and that's all I left with.
Oh my.
But I got out. So I got my truck and my pets and my flip-flops. That's basically what I got out with. But like I said, I'd only just bought the house. I had invested about 60 grand remodeling it. And I was going to open a business, a little grooming shop. And I had just had all the equipment delivered about 2 days before. And, I lost everything, literally everything. So my sturdy truck saved my life, and her paint is all bubbled and peeled, and she doesn't look very pretty, but it saved my life. So I have my old truck, and
how could you turn your back on your truck after that?
I couldn't turn my back on that poor truck. So so I kind of had to start over. I lost literally everything.
Wow.
Plus a lot of money that I had just invested in this property. So mostly keepsakes and things that I wish I had that belonged to, grandparents and other family members who had passed, and photographs. Because back in the day, you can't recreate photographs if you don't have the photograph anymore. So the first 2/3 of my life have gone. I have no photographic evidence of anything where, but I wasn't super attached to the house itself. I was bummed, but I was a little bit in shock. And I stayed at my niece's house for a few weeks. And then I realized, sitting there in all this smoke, it wasn't really great for me and my health.
Right.
And everybody, a lot of people were helping, and everybody said, well, we're going to rebuild, and da 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 da. And I kept thinking, it's going to be 10 years. You're not going to rebuild it. It's not going to happen tomorrow. You got it. And I just, but I mean, people were really unrealistic about what happens when all the infrastructure in a town or an area is gone. There was no electricity. There was no water. All that had to be rebuilt. So
really hard to do cleanup without infrastructure. Yeah.
So I knew it was going to be years. So I decided at that point too. I spent a few weeks at my sister's house in Los Angeles, and I decided I had to start over. But I knew I didn't want to start over anywhere west of Colorado, because I was so traumatized by that fire and drought.
You know what? I got to imagine that you were, and honestly, what did it feel like to see the fire coming toward you?
It was surreal. It was coming up over the mountain at the end of my street, and it was coming down the mountain and up my street.
Oh my!
And the weird thing was the neighbors sitting out there in lawn chairs filming it instead of getting in their truck and leaving. They weren't paying attention to what was happening. I had a neighbor whose dog got out while they were, the excitement got to people, and they forgot to have common sense. Their dog was killed by a car. And, the last thing I remember after I took photographs of everything for the insurance, because my brain was thinking insurance, was a 747 flying about 600 feet over my house, dumping fire retardant. And that's when I shut the door to my truck and took off. I have a photograph somewhere on my iPhone of the bottom of this 747, just like right above my head.
Wow.
And I thought, no, I'm leaving. So, and the whole town was gone within 40 minutes.
Oh my God. Wow.
They call it a fire tornado. So because of the winds, instead of forest fires usually go along the ground.
Right.
But because of the high winds, they call it tree topping. It was going from the top of a tree to a top of a tree in a tornado motion.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean,
that's terrifying.
Nothing left. Nothing left. Just ash. The fire department burned down with the fire trucks still in the bay. They didn't have time to get out. So there was literally nothing left.
It's amazing no one was killed.
No one was killed, thank God.
But yeah.
Nobody even had a heart attack. I mean, I almost had a heart attack, but and that's unlike Paradise, where they were trapped.
Yeah.
Most people were able to get out, and luckily my niece was able to tell me about this obscure fire road, and then I lost contact with her, and she didn't hear from me for 6 hours. She didn't know if I was alive or dead.
Mm-hmm.
The last she heard was, I think I found it, and then nothing. So
wow.
The wind had shifted direction a little bit. I wouldn't have made it out because I was on a one-way fire road that very heavily forested country, and it would have gone up like a matchstick. So I was very, very lucky.
You were meant to do something else, I think.
I don't know what.
Well, that's all right. We're going to talk about that.
Yeah.
So your next move then was someplace else.
I did. I was afraid of fire. And I knew I couldn't live anywhere where there was a danger of a forest fire. So all my favorite states like California, Washington, Oregon, Colorado, those were all out.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, I don't want to live in Minnesota. That's too cold. And I don't want to live in Alabama. That's too hot. And I've already done the East Coast. So the only thing left was a couple of states in the middle, Illinois, Indiana, or Ohio.
Oh, not Ohio.
I know. My mom was from Ohio.
Did you?
I went on Zillow and
Did you forget about Tornado Alley there?
Well, no, I didn't forget about it. I found a little house on Zillow in a little town called Elwood, Indiana. And the house had already been remodeled. I wouldn't have to reinvest to remodel.
Good.
But before I bought it, I talked to the insurance guy and I said, okay, what about tornadoes? I know there's no wildfires in the cornfields. And he said, believe it or not, Elwood is in a little dip. And most of the tornadoes go either north of it or south of it. And there hasn't been a tornado there in 50 years. And so I thought, well, that sounds good. But then I thought again, yeah, but I'm moving there, So for sure, there's going to be a tornado in the next couple of days, But it worked out. It was a safe haven.
That's good.
For my pets and myself, for me to catch my breath. And I had to go through some psychological counseling for PTSD.
Oh, I bet.
I had horrible nightmares. I wet my bed for a year every night.
Oh my God.
And dreamt about fire.
God bless you.
Sorry, it still makes me cry.
Well, of course.
So yeah, how do
you manage to go on after that, kid?
Well, I didn't really have a choice. I had, 2 cats and 6 dogs who depended on me. I don't have children or a husband. And I just thought, well, I just have to get up and feed the dogs. Basically, every day started that way. I got to get up and feed the dogs. I got to take care of the dog. I got to take the dogs to the park. And so I just kind of figured it out as I went. I never really wanted to give up. I didn't dream of living in Indiana. Lynn knows that.
Never on somebody's list.
Yeah. It's not.
I remember when you first said you were living there. I was like, what the heck?
Yeah, I know. I remember. Lynn called me one day because she was sick and she said, you're in Indiana. Can you help me with the delivery? Because I'm really sick. And I'm like, sure. I don't remember that. I had to go to Chicago or something.
Sent you up to Chicago. Yeah.
Yeah. So
sent her up to Chicago with a couple of dogs.
Yeah, a couple of dogs. But I was so traumatized I couldn't work for the first year.
Oh my, I'm sure.
And then my body started falling apart. So I fell and almost severed my thumb. And then when that healed, one of my German Shepherds and I went for the ball at the same time, and they almost severed my finger. And I just had all these weird, funky things happening that lasted about 2.5 years. So I couldn't work almost that whole time. And when I was finally feeling better this summer, I thought, I got to move out of here. I couldn't do the winters anymore. And it's never occurred to me.
Winter in Indiana is hard.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, it's already snowing there. They've got 8 or 10 inches of snow right now.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I scooted out right in time. So
yeah, you did.
But I've never really thought about quitting. I mean, how can you quit? Your life has to go on.
Sure.
And I think that's why I could easily leave the mountains of California, because I was noticing all the people who were not moving on. There were people living in tents in the forest, and winter was coming on, and they're going, we're going to be rebuild. And I'm thinking,
no,
they get like 6 feet of snow there.
Yeah, they
get like 6 feet of snow. It's dreadful.
I was about to say that. Donner Pass.
It's right there. People eat it for their winter, and they're out there in the woods going, we're going to rebuild.
They're pretty bad. Yeah. Pretty bad winters over there.
Luckily, I was born with common sense, and I'm pretty based in reality.
That's good.
And I knew I didn't want to sleep in the forest in a tent, so I'm out of there.
So instead, you sold the house in Indiana. Now you're sleeping in Florida in a camper.
Yeah, I couldn't do the cold anymore as a LA woman. I've lived all over the world, but I'm used to going to the snow when I want to see the snow and then going home to the beach, in a
I
couple
get
of days.
that. Yeah.
Indiana is a lot different. It's
Mhm.
November to end of April, and
Yeah.
it's just gray and it's very cold. I could do it if the sun came out. I could
But
do
it rarely
freezing
does.
cold if it was
Yeah.
sunny, but it was always gray. And after 4 years, I just thought I just can't do this anymore. So my plan was to go to Italy or France. I went to Italy last year and did some explorations about it, but you can't get a driver's license in Italy unless you take the test in Italian, and I don't speak Italian.
Oh.
And
I was looking at that.
yeah, it's ridiculous. You can't even drive a moped.
Yeah, well, you can have your driver's license for 1 year.
Yeah, after that, you're
drive
out of
for
luck.
1 year, and then you have to take your license. Yeah,
Right. You can't even ride a moped without it. So you can ride an electric bike.
Are you serious?
But it has to pedal. They're serious.
Well,
And the infrastructure in Italy, in the parts of Italy, the southern part of Italy where you get all the tax breaks, isn't great. So how are you supposed to get around? I'll be 65 next summer, and how do you get to see doctors and if you don't have a car?
Yeah, you need a vehicle. Yep.
So France then ended up being a more logical, and I love France.
Do you speak French?
I took French in high school, and I've lived off and on in France and outside of France. I can understand it and read it, but my conversational French stinks. Best way to learn it is to just be in it.
Je déteste la langue de français.
Yeah, no. And the problem with me is I learned French and German at the same time, and so I mix them up with Spanish.
Oh, buddy. Yeah.
So I just throw words out there. Donde está el toilet? But I can get by. I have faith. I can get by.
All right. Well, I have faith that you will get by. That just seems so kind of, for the lack of a better term, ballsy for me. I don't know if I could do it, kid. I don't know if I could do it, JT.
Well, I have lived in Europe before, and it was challenging. This was years ago. I taught English to a little boy who was born in Los Angeles while his parents were on vacation by accident. He was a preemie, but he automatically got American citizenship because he was born in St. John's Hospital. And the parents decided that because he had dual citizenship, they didn't want him growing up speaking English with a British accent. They wanted him speaking English with a California accent because that's where he was born.
Well, okay.
And so they hired me to live over there, a little town called Nonweiler, Germany. And my whole job was just to talk to this child. He was 4.
Wow.
And he had an au pair who took care of him. It was strictly language for me and doing fun things. So
I could probably do that.
I've been over there. Yeah, I've been over there, and
I'm the fun Mimi.
Yeah, it was a really good experience, and I had friends in France, and so I'm used to it. I don't know. I've never lived over there, on my own. But I mean, I've lived everywhere else, so how bad could it be?
Me.
Me too.
It sounds like.
So what part of France are you looking at?
You figure it out when you get there real quick.
You would.
Well, I tell
Yeah, what
you
part
Lynn,
of France are you thinking?
I was thinking the southern part of France more because they're they have more dog parks, believe it or not.
Okay.
And I didn't want to go, if you look at a map of France, if you go to the northern part of France from Paris north, it's just about on the same latitude and longitude as Indiana.
Yep. Okay. It's cold.
It's cold and it's gray all
It's cold. It gets cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I also don't want to be in like North Africa, temperatures. I got to find a sweet spot, Lynn. I don't know where. There's got to be somewhere that's, balanced. And I don't know what that is.
That sounds pretty swanky. I'm going to go to the south of France.
Yeah. Swanky. It's It's doable. I mean, it'll probably cost me about what it just cost me to buy this RV,
Wow.
to move,
Just to
probably
move.
20,
Yeah, that's
30
not bad.
grand. Um,
Hmm.
but the funny
Yeah.
part about that is, it's been so difficult since I've moved to Florida, just doing simple things like opening bank accounts, finding a doctor.
Oh, that's a nightmare down there.
I have never
Yeah.
had so much trouble in my life. I mean, I've lived all over and I'm like, okay,
Huh.
figure it out. And Florida,
Hey, were you able to do that? JT, were you able to do that box thing at the UPS store?
a box
For
thing.
address, for the address.
No, I ended
Remember
up,
I told you would.
yeah, I ended up not needing it. I threw myself
Okay.
on the mercy of the Florida DMV and was able to switch my address to a new address. So I ended up not needing
Okay.
the UPS thing. So, but boy, what a hassle. I've been
Oh,
here
yeah.
since about
No.
the 12th of October and I've just found a doctor and I finally got my bank
Wow.
account settled. And so I'm thinking if it's that hard in Florida, it seems like France might be easier, you know?
Well, I would hope
Speaking
so.
French and walking backwards in high heels would be easier than Florida. So not a fan of Florida so far.
That's saying something, JT.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't think I could do either of those things.
But I've never had a
France would be
husband.
cool. France is cool.
France is cool. Italy is too, but
I would love to go to Italy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's wonderful.
Southern Italy would be nice
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
I have a friend right now who left Chicago and she's living in Albania. 67 years old.
No
She just walked
kidding.
away. She flew to Albania and
Wow.
that's the end of the story. And she's loving it. So
Wow.
Yeah, she might be somebody you'd be interested in talking
Probably
to.
so. It sounds like it. Yeah, that sounds awesome.
She's badass, that lady. Ballsy.
We're all about badasses.
Yeah.
That's kind of what we do.
Everybody dreams of Italy or Paris, but not Albania. I mean, wow.
Well,
that's
why Albania was easier is because, first of all, it's a lot less expensive, and it's not in the European Union, so you don't have to leave every 3 months.
Ah,
really?
So she can be in Albania and rent an apartment for $300 a month, and she's still just across the Adriatic Sea from Italy.
Wow.
She still lives at the beach. It's like living in Hermosa Beach or Manhattan Beach. She's right on the ocean, but it's a lot less expensive. So
I was going to say, where that Hermosa and the other beach, Huntington Beach, man, they're really salty.
Yeah. But she doesn't
there.
speak Albanian and she seems to be getting along okay. So I think there's hope for me if I do end up getting over there.
I would imagine that a lot of people speak English and recognize us as Americans.
Well, they know we're Americans the second we step out the door in our shorts and our running shoes.
Right. Yeah. And hoodies.
Yeah. Years ago, I was in Paris with a friend of mine and we had to do laundry. We were staying at a friend's apartment in Paris and we had to do laundry. And I want to say it was April or May. And so Mike and I went out to do our laundry wearing flip-flops. We couldn't figure out why people were staring at our feet. They were appalled that we were wearing flip-flops. This would have been in the early 80s. That was just not done. And so they can tell immediately.
Yeah. So
and I'm okay with that. I'm
Yep.
trying to be anything I'm not.
Are you scared at all?
I don't know if it was. I wouldn't call it scared. Maybe a little bit apprehensive.
Okay.
But I think at this point, just of things like, finding how to open your bank account, things like that. Most of my trepidation in the last 10 or 15 years is how's it going to work with my dogs?
Yeah.
I can figure it out. If I didn't have dogs, I could figure out no problem.
Sure.
But because I have two large dogs right now, I have to know, is there a dog park nearby? Can they be off leash? Can they, how do I find a vet? I don't really worry about me. I worry about my dogs. So,
See, that makes
and
perfect sense to me.
yeah,
That would be
that
me.
gives me pause, um, they're trained on e-collars. Well, e-collars are illegal in Europe.
Really?
They can ride the
Oh,
public
yeah.
transportation,
Yeah,
but
they are.
wear cage muzzles. Well, they don't wear muzzles here,
Yeah.
So there's a lot involved in making that decision, you know. And frankly, my older German Shepherd doesn't really like strangers touching him these days, and I don't know if he would do well shipping over there and having to be examined by a vet. I don't want him to bite somebody. He
No.
was just at the vet here, and he had to take 3 trazodone, and he still had to be muzzled and wanted to bite the guy's face off. And he's a really nice dog, but I'm wondering whether putting him through that
Yeah, I
is
get it.
fair.
So maybe
The other one, the younger one, would be. So,
is there a backup plan then? That maybe doesn't include France? I don't know. Just curious.
yeah, the backup plan right now is Ocala, Florida, which I'm hating. So,
There's other places though in
there
Florida.
is.
You can always come up this way and visit in the summer.
And
Yeah,
here's the thing, you've got
JT,
wheels under your
You can
under
always
your
roll you
house.
up here through the summer.
I do, and I do have.
Yep.
I'd like to do the East Coast this summer, and I'm kind of hanging out until I'm going to be 65 in July,
Wow.
and I have to go through the whole Medicare rigmarole.
Yeah.
And once I have that under my belt, then I kind of feel like I'm free anywhere. But living in an RV in Florida in the summer does not sound like something I can do with my dogs.
No. I'll tell you where would be a really nice place to
Visit
go.
up this way. We got
come on up.
room for you.
Come north. Come north.
Where are you, Pam?
Yeah.
I'm actually where Linda used to be, smack dab in the middle of Pennsylvania.
Oh, you are?
Yep, I'm in Huntington, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
But where we have gone for the last couple summers, because I also have a camper that I yank behind my truck, and we've gone up to the Thousand Islands, and there are some state parks up there that are seriously some of the most beautiful scenery you've ever seen in your entire life.
Really?
Oh my God, it's just gorgeous. The St. Lawrence River, which goes out to the St. Lawrence Seaway and then out to the ocean.
Yeah.
But the St. Lawrence River is just exquisite. And it goes from 10 feet deep to 200 feet deep within about 15 feet.
Yeah, that scares me.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I like more of a gradual entrance.
Well, I agree. I agree.
ocean.
But it's so cool because, you can be on these little tiny boats on this river. And then right next to you are the big ocean liners coming in off of the ocean to go into the Great Lakes. It is the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Is this New
York?
Is it New York?
Upstate New York. Yeah.
Upstate New York. It's
Upstate
like
New York.
so close to Canada that you pick up the cell towers. But
Really? Yeah.
Is it up around Plattsburgh?
It's north of that. So if you go up to like Rochester and then drive
Plattsburgh's right at the very top.
4 more hours north. I don't know where that is then. I thought I did. But if you go to Rochester and just keep going straight up, follow.
Plattsburgh is right at the border.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, then I'm sorry. I didn't know that. I haven't been there. Sorry. But,
I think the Northeast coast, for the summer is a good idea. This RV, this trailer that I bought is, it's newer, it's used, but it's a 2022 and it's just the right size. But then of course, everything goes wrong with an RV as soon as you buy it. I've had this 30 days and the fridge has gone out and the water under the sink is leaking. And so it's a lot of extra
Did you
hassle.
get that fixed yet?
No, they finally ordered the part. They discontinued the fridge. So they won't have the part until tomorrow, and they'll try to fix it Saturday. So right now I decided the freezer is as cold as the fridge. So I can put my milk and butter and stuff in the freezer, and
Oh my.
I'm just winging it like that. And then I had somebody come to try to fix the leak that keeps appearing under my sink. It's fresh water. And somebody came in, not to disparage men or anything, but they don't have a whole lot of follow through. So they go, oh, here's, they tighten one screw and they go, okay, it's fixed. And I'm like, look at all those screws down there. Aren't you going to tighten all of them? I mean, you're already down there.
Yeah.
No. So 2 days later, it's still leaking. So I got in there this morning with my iPhone and a screwdriver.
Good.
I tightened everything. So hopefully that's taken.
I'll tell you what, if you go on YouTube and look up your problem, you should probably be able to find how to fix it. We're lucky we have a really good RV mechanic, and he's sweet and wonderful to us, but we haven't had a lot of trouble. Knock on
wood. They don't make them like they used to.
No, and mine is older. Mine's a good bit older than yours, but yeah.
I was in one when I was looking for a home in Greenville up in Northern California. For about 4 months, I was in an RV outside of Reno, and that thing was like a house. I mean, it was well built.
Yeah,
compared to what I have now, this is just
ever since COVID. It's just everything went kind of screwy especially in the RV world.
Yeah,
unfortunately, but so
sure.
That's a pretty cool story, though, JT. I'm rather impressed, and like I said, it's kind of gutsy, kid.
Well, when you don't have a choice and the whole world is open to you, you have to just put one foot in front of the other and get up in the morning and feed the dogs, no matter where you are.
Get up in the morning and feed the dogs.
Yeah. So and that's kind of the mantra.
A couple other things that just kind of occurred to me that, what would a lot of people, there's a lot of women out there our age who retire, or their husband dies, or something else tragic happens to them, and they want to quit, and they do. Often they quit. They curl up and they stare at TV all day, and they never get out of their chair.
Yeah.
What would you recommend for people like that, especially if they didn't have dogs? They don't have a reason to get up and feed the dog.
There are days when, I'll watch 6 episodes of Blacklist. I mean, you have to give yourself the grace to do that sometimes.
No! Okay.
But you can't. Again, I think the biggest thing for me is that I'm responsible for another life. Mm-hmm. So I can't just curl up and watch TV for the rest of my life. The dog's got to get walked. They can't live in a travel trailer. They're 80 pounds. So I think finding something that gets you out of the house. Mm-hmm. I mean, any kind of pet would work, a parrot or a bird, but dogs, you have to get out of the house.
They demand it.
And I think if you're responsible for another creature, whether it's a grandchild or a husband or whoever it is, that gets you out of yourself into being more into the world. Yeah. I can understand wanting to curl up and give up, but honestly, that's the thing that always makes me keep going. I got to get up and feed the dogs. I got to walk the dogs. I got to go get dog food. It's amazing how much work they are that keeps you moving forward.
But you love them so much.
I do love them. They're a lot of work, though.
They are.
And even when I had to have foot surgery and I couldn't walk, and it was just me in the house, I had to get up and feed the dog, whether I was in excruciating pain or not. And I hobbled down the hallway, and they still had to go to the dog park. And I drove with this huge boot on my foot, and I still had to get him out. So I think if you put yourself in a situation where you don't have a choice, I didn't have a choice to sit around and watch TV. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Even when it was 20 below zero and I had a boot on my foot, I had to take care of someone else. And so I think if you volunteer or you have some kind of a commitment outside of yourself, whether you're reading to children at a library, or you're visiting old retirement homes, or people who are housebound, it gets you out of your own head,
Wonderful.
and it makes you meet people outside.
That's the big one. Get you out of your own head. Yeah.
Yeah, because being in your own
Yep.
head it can be a scary place to be.
Oh,
and
yeah.
and even after that fire, when I was having so much trauma and going to see the psychologist every week, got me out of my house and got me out of my head. And because I was wetting the bed every night for a year, I had to get up and do laundry and feed the dogs. So I think you just have to think of things outside of your own head and outside of your own cocoon.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with cocooning, but it's no place to live.
No.
Cocooning forever is dying.
Right.
And I'm not ready. I'm not ready to die.
That's wonderful. And you know what, JT? I am so impressed, and I'm so glad I got to meet you finally. I've been hearing about you for a couple weeks, and so I'm thrilled that I've got to meet you finally. And yeah, come on up to Pennsylvania. Heck, we've got places here.
Will. I think I have a cousin in Philadelphia. My cousin Amy lives outside of Philadelphia. So
Cool.
And I know Lynn is up in Virginia. So
Yep.
I mean,
we're about
my next
4.5 hours directly north of her. So
okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I have a niece and nephew in Maryland. So my next big adventure is I've got to get a what do you call it to make your trailer not bounce around? Sway bars.
Sway bars. Yeah.
You need a sway bar.
I need sway bar,
Yeah.
and I need mirrors for my truck so that I can see around it. And then I have to figure out how to tow this thing. It's bigger than I'm used to. I'm used to towing a small, like a 2-horse trailer or 4-horse
The bigger
trailer.
they are, the easier they are.
Really?
Yeah, seriously. The bigger they are, the less bounce you'll have, and they are so much easier to back in. How long is it? How big is it? 29
I'm not
foot?
backing into anything.
Oh, sure.
Okay, you asked me what scares me.
You're going to
Backing.
have to eventually. Backing.
I only go forward. That's my motto. I only go forward.
Eventually, you're going to have to back up.
That's when I get out of the truck and play dumb blonde, okay? Because I won't do it.
I got to tell you my story. So,
Okay. I can play dumb blonde real easy.
nah,
No problem.
me too these days. But
Yeah, your hair's pretty. I like your hair.
thanks. I
Okay,
yanked
just
the
so everybody here is in agreement, none of us are blonde anymore. Just so that you know
No.
that.
Well,
I was blonde once for pretend.
They call this dirty blonde. It gets blonder in the summer, but I quit
Yeah, not
dyeing
me.
my hair about 6 years ago. I wasn't.
My hair was always black. It's
Was
still
it?
not black at all anymore.
It's so pretty and soft looking. So
Yeah.
No.
So
Yeah,
so
Pam was seriously like dark black.
really,
Yeah.
And when she went white, it was like, oh my God.
yeah, I
Oh yeah.
think
I
going
was so
gray is
shocked when
really
I saw her
cool.
go white. I was like, shh.
I just got tired of it. It was
Uh,
costing me a lot of money to keep
It
that.
costs a lot of
up.
money. Yeah,
And
I'm
I
the only
said
one
to
in my-
myself, screw it. I'm
Yeah.
64 years old. I can have white hair.
I know. You can have white hair. It suits you. It looks cute.
Thanks. And I'm still working.
Yeah.
And you know what's strange? And I've said this on the podcast before, but what's strange is that the guys I work with, primarily men, and most of the guys, in fact, almost all of the guys, just took on a completely different attitude towards me once my hair went white. They became so much nicer to the old lady. It was
Really?
awesome. I don't
That's a
get
good
it.
trick.
Yeah, it's strange. So
You know, there's people now, young
Keeping it-
people who are dyeing their hair white and gray.
I
so-
know.
I
I'd
would
have
do
never
it.
done
I'm
that.
the only one of my sisters. I don't have children or a husband, and I only have a few strands of gray coming in. All my sisters have gray, pretty gray.
I
But they all have
started
kids.
I started going gray when I was 20. I think it was the
Did you?
stress. Yeah.
Yeah, some people do though. I have a friend who was born with a white streak like Ringo Starr.
Oh, no
She's
kidding.
Yeah,
Ah,
I don't
that's
know
cool.
what happened, like Frankenstein's bride. So, but yeah, why spend money on that? So I'm not big on beauty stuff. I just meh.
I try. It's just the way it is anymore. And I'm not.
You know,
Who am
and
I?
downside too, I don't have to spend the money to upkeep a house, and
Right.
I mean, I might rent an apartment someday, or find an apartment instead of an RV, but I don't think I'll ever live anything bigger than like a studio or a one-bedroom apartment for
Yeah,
the
well, you
rest of
can
my
find a
life.
tiny house. They're kind of fun too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tiny houses are great. It's the rent you have to pay to where to place them that's
Yeah.
really astronomical.
Yeah. RV parks are a lot cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens with my next venture, but
Unless you're in Florida.
at the moment, yeah, unless you're in Florida, it's very
Yeah.
spendy
Well,
down here.
it's their season right now. So
It is.
yeah.
Except oddly enough, you can't buy a umbrella in Florida because it's not the season.
Really?
80 degrees. What do you mean it's not the season?
What?
You've got thousands of people coming down here for the sun. They go, well, no, we took out all the umbrellas and put in Christmas things. I go, oh, for God's sakes.
What if I wanted an umbrella for Christmas?
Yeah, you can't. You have to order it online. That's the only way you can get it. Yeah, that's what I said. I went to 15 stores looking for an umbrella for my picnic table, and nobody had one.
Wow.
So,
well, we know what to send you, huh?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I think I can still get them at the Y store.
You know,
I mean, Home Depot doesn't even have
I've got one up here. I'll just bring it down.
There you go.
Yeah. I left mine at home in Indiana when I sold the house. I gave it to my neighbor, and I wish I'd have brought it.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Who knew? I figured I could get an umbrella on every street corner down here. Not so much.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to have to wrap this up. Anything you want to add,
All
JT?
right. Nothing. Just put one foot in front of the other and get outside of your head and help somebody else, and it'll help you.
Oh, I love that. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Even if it's just
There you go.
crow.
That is so true.
Help some
So
other
true.
living creature. Yeah.
There you go. All right. Linda, anything you want to add?
I'm so happy to see you, Linda.
JT, thank you so much, sweetie, for
You're welcome.
I know that it was a lot for you to do this, and I so appreciate it, sweetie.
Sure.
Have a great one.
I hope it wasn't too echoey.
Hey, I'm coming down your way, by the way. I'll be down there next week.
Oh, call me.
I'll be down in Florida next week.
All right.
She'll bring an umbrella.
So
call me when you come down. Bring me an umbrella, for God's sakes.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much.
Nice to meet you, Pam.
Nice to meet you, JT. And folks, if you could please just do us a big favor and push that follow button, subscribe, like, share. If you're listening to us on the podcast side of this, please write a review. 5-star reviews go a long way to help us stay on the air. So until next week, we really appreciate you tuning in, and thanks so much. Take care.
Thanks. Bye.